Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live show slash podcast. I am, I'm Boogie. Today I had a different show planned out for today, and it was really going to talk about what I have done to the Red Rover, what I am, why I stopped doing some of the upgrades and just dumping money into it. And but that with everything that's happening right now, that just really didn't seem like the best play. So and what I'm talking about as far as not being the best play or what's happening in the world right now, it seems it's you know in America, or I guess in the world in general, there's always, as record keeping goes of things that happen, phenomenons, whatever. There's always the 100 year something. There's the 10 year, the 25 year, the 100 year, and so right now, last year we had the 100 year pandemic. This year we're hitting a snowstorm that has swept across the world. Basically, it's not even just the U.S. There's a lot of countries, a lot of continents that is just being pummeled by a winter snow dump, for the lack of better words. And here in Missouri, we're no different. Uh, for it, and it's kind of been snowing off and on. It's been like that snow that's just really just kind of makes you angry. It's just annoying. It wasn't even a good snow, but now we're getting the good snow. Now we have inches of snow that it wasn't good snow. It was fluffy snow, not snowman snow. But nonetheless, I felt it was important for me to really, really talk about and kind of remind everyone of why I started this channel and what this channel was about. The channel was about me, myself, Boogie, being out in nature. And it was to help educate people on getting survival skills. Even the minimum about amount of survival skills can take you a lot further than someone that has nothing. And the reason why I'm putting the emphasis on survival skills on this episode is Texas. Texas right now, they're getting better. They're restoring power as they go, but they got, I guess I could say it this way, as they got the worst of the storm this go around. And I use that term, the worst, because Texas generally doesn't get that amount of snow over the overall state. Okay, I think 90%, at least the high 80s, got hit with some form of snow throughout that whole state, in a state that's generally warmer. So they're not used to below freezing temperatures for a long amount of time. That's just not what they're used to, and that's cool. I mean, so there are certain things that no one thinks about. But it got me thinking. I have some family that's there now. They went out for a weekend trip that turned into a vacation from hell. And there are certain things in my life that when I travel, I always take with me. I always plan on being stuck in the airport. I always plan on being stuck in the airport. So I am always the person that takes my Climate Static V insulated sleeping pad, I'm sorry, and my hammock gear top quilt that I usually take in my hammock. Both of these pieces are very light and can pack down really small and fit into my carry-on bag. Now, I take these because I don't hope to be stuck in an airport at any time. But if that, for instance, a snowstorm hits, they cancel my flight, and I don't necessarily, if they're not kicking me out of the airport at that time, I may not have a hotel to go to. I've already turned in my rental car. What else can I do, right? And especially if it's not something that they're saying, well, hey, we'll get you out in we'll get you out in about 12 hours. If they say something longer than 12 hours, then I'm gonna have to make some other moves. Now, that jumps me into my second part. If I end up having to stay in a foreign city in the midst of a crisis of any sort, I'm going to take all of my prepping skills that I have accumulated over the years and all of my experience that I have gathered in the backcountry, especially when it comes down to staying warm. It is, I had a friend, we were uh, talking about a month or so ago. We were talking a month or so ago, and the conversation went like this. Hey, I want to start taking people out into the backcountry and start giving them those survival skills so people can learn to survive with less. Right now, everyone thinks if you're not used to uh, living with the minimum amount of things, you think you need a whole lot. You really don't. You really don't. The average person, the person as the foundation of hiking and backpacking is a through hiker. This is a person that's out for months, not a weekend. They're out for months and they're doing miles, hundreds of miles. And that is a art, a technique, a skill that will take them far. It can take anybody far. Now, now there's going to be some people that are going to say, hey, that's not a person that's through hiking. That's not real survival skills because they're going to town and they're getting resupplied. They're shipping stuff to themselves. They have all of this different things to help them make it through this trip. Okay, fine. That argument is valid. That argument is very, very valid. Okay, but that person that knows how to literally weather the storm is going to do a lot better than the person that just looks at the storm from inside of their house if they have to be out in it unexpectedly. Just saying. Just saying. Now, a through hiker has everything that they're going to need on their back. A backpacker, even going out for the weekend, only has everything that they're going to need on their back. There's a few creature comforts in there, and those with experience learn to drop weight real quick and to keep the creature comforts to a minimum. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there that I'm just dropping a baseline here so everyone can get on the same page of camping is a skill set. And the things that you learn, basic, how to stay dry, how to stay warm, uh, how to take care of your clothing, keeping it clean, keeping it dry, drying it out. And there's a lot of different skills. Texas right now is having loads and loads of power issues in a place where they're not used to not being without power for a week at a time. I about 15 years ago now, we had a tornado rip through St. Louis, and it wiped out power over a large portion of the city for about a week and a half. And I mean, it was city and county. It was throughout St. Louis City and County. If people don't know, there's a difference in between St. Louis City and St. Louis County. Hey Tom, glad you can join. Talking about camping, why I started the channel, and survival skills. Uh, Thinking of Texas right now, being out of power, people trying to stay warm, people trying to. I know people kind of saw the build up of what was happening during the pandemic and people's mad rush to buy useless things. Well, that's the difference in between something you can see coming. You don't know how long it's going to last, but you kind of see the build up. People hyped it up. People started fear buying. Well, what happens when they say, huh, you're going to get a little bit of snow, and then all of a sudden it's the worst snow that hit the country, hit the country in the last 100 years, or at least the last 20 years. I think that's how we're putting it, the last 20 or 30 years or so. So now we're under a huge amount of snow. Hey Tom, how much snow did you guys get? Here in St. Louis, we got about 8 inches, and not that many power outages that I know of. Uh, Things that help you survive in cold weather. Being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable with the people that you're with. No matter what size house you have, you may want to get into the smallest room that you have. Okay? Why the smallest room? It's the room that's going to take the least amount of energy to heat up. Even if you go to, if as long as you have a Walmart, you'll get. As long as you have a Walmart, you can get the supplies that you need. Uh, if your power is out, you're trying to tough it out at home. Well, if you don't have anywhere else to go, you have to tough it out at home. One of those Mr. Buddy propane heaters anywhere, and then you guys just stack up in one room. That's what you got to do. You'll stay warm, huddle up together, do some kumbaya or whatever your favorite song is, play some games, whatever, and you kind of tough it out and make it. Because that's basically what we do when we're camping. Even though you're out, in a large area, you pretty much just have what you need. You stay close to the fire, whatever your gear is that you take out to stay warm in. Journey into my channel a little more, explore my videos. I have a lot of information that I've been trying to get out for a while, as far as camping gear, ways to stay warm. I'm the type of person, I go out even though I'm in no danger. I'll do some silly stuff just to build a skill set. To I went out to a state park early spring last year, about 2 years ago now. Early spring, I'm there. It's cold. I have a little bit of water. I know where my water supply is, but I really didn't feel like going to get it. I come across, and this is like the story of my life. My nephew says I should change my name to Muddy Waters. I find a frozen puddle, and that was my water source for the night. Well, yeah, that was my water source for the night. That's what I made. That's what I used to cook with. That's what I used to make my beverages with at the end. I have a water filter. I still boiled it. I still went through a lot of process to make sure that the water is clean. But I always try to practice something new every time I go out to the woods, and even more so, I get myself out of that comfort level. Uh, I know that you can sit there and say, "Oh, drinking that water out of that puddle, out of getting that frozen puddle, that's gross." Okay, yeah, okay, it is gross. Now you're in Texas right now, and water main breaks. You still have water to the house, but the water main breaks. That water, when the water main breaks by your house, is probably more toxic than the puddle that you're going to drink out in the woods, unless it's close to a meth lab. I'm just saying. Now, think about that now and think about your gross stuff. But just overall, that's what I really started this channel for, was to get was to let you know it's okay to get out of your comfort zone. It's okay to learn something that's a niche type thing. It may save your life one day. You right now, if you were using just Texas as an example, if you needed to, you know that you can go to, if you watch one of my videos about making homemade stoves, hobo stoves is what they call it. They have many different names. I call it a hobo stove. But you can take yourself a tin can, cut it up, and turn it into a wood burning cooktop or a wood burning cooker. And it works great. And it uses twigs. It's very efficient for what it is. So there's so many different skill sets that I have learned over the years just by going out to the backcountry. And I just urge everyone, even if you do it in an RV, mm, um, go out and camp for a little bit, make your own fire, take some hot dogs, do something, man. Just get out there and try to do something different. I understand if you're older and you just can't do it like you used to when you were younger, but if you're a younger person, man, go out there and check out the woods. Try to learn a different skill set when you go out there, even if you decide to not take out your fancy smancy tent and you just put up a ridge line and a tarp and you decide to sleep under that. And try something new. Get out of your comfort zone and just enjoy nature a little bit. Become one with the force. And just really, really, really have fun. Just really have some fun out there. So hopefully Texas will come out on the other side of this stronger, get their infrastructure together a little better. Hopefully they won't have this issue again. I know that when we had our tornado, it was a gift and a curse. And this tornado rolled through on Easter Sunday. Rolled through on Easter Sunday. It hit everywhere hard. There wasn't even This wasn't the one that hit Joplin. It wasn't the one that just it hit Joplin. This one just rolled through St. Louis city and county, man. Literally, it touched St. Louis City. It literally touched St. Louis City, which St. Louis City I only had in history like one or two tornadoes, but it actually touched it a little bit. The rest of it was all St. Louis County. It was it where it hit like the Bridgeton area really bad. I think it tagged St. Charles. It was ugly. It was ugly. I mean, power was out for a week and a half. It was rough, rough. It was rough. Then there was the ice storm that leveled us at one point too. Yeah. So, um, one of the things that I am really, really proud of not letting people tell me or allowing them to stop me from going camping. I've always heard people say, "Hey, that's stupid. I wouldn't do that. Aren't you worried about this? Aren't you worried about that?" Nah, sometimes I do get a little freaked out on the trails from time to time. I don't think anybody that goes out there doesn't. There's a lot of things that go bump in the night and you can't really see it. It's way off out there, and there's a lot of, nocturnal animals, and you don't really know what's there till it gets close enough, but never had any real concerns with it. So, not allowing people to get you out of your comfort zone, or not allowing people to talk you out of a new experience, is something that we all strive for. And I just want you guys to go out and do it. I can't tell you how many times my experiences out there, I can't tell you how many times people laughed at me from going out, questioned me on why I went out, and then when something went left, they weren't asking me for advice. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's going to do it for me today. I just really wanted to get what you guys kind of touch on, and really get the hope, and I'm also hoping that everybody that is safe out there. I know that there's parts of the country where there was massive pileups. Like I said, Texas is having some major power outages, and I'm just hoping that everyone that's not used to this, they get it together, and they're living good. Remember, guys, live life one trail at a time, and I will see you in the next.